So when I was born in China. China had a one-child policy. When Jared and I got married, we named all of our children during our honeymoon. If we have a daughter, we're gonna name her Elizabeth Lee. And we want every single person who wear our dresses to feel absolutely beautiful.
Everyone that comes in the store, people that we do business with, whether it's vendors or employees or customers, our interaction with them, we are representing the kingdom.
Jared and I do this thing called Vision Mondays. We started 3 businesses, none of them took off. Jared and I were just praying together, and I saw a vision of a veil hanging over this space right here.
As you can imagine, there's just tremendous opportunity for bridges, as we like to call it, around the world, with anti-trafficking objectives and different ministries.
Being kind of on this kick, talking with my staff about grace.
I think this is a really key conversation for the Outsiders group.
Only 3% of the church will work full-time inside the church. That leaves 97% who are called out into the marketplace to bring heaven to earth. They are known as the Outsiders. Wendy and Jared here are Outsiders. Can you guys go ahead and tell me a little bit about your business that you have here?
Yes, it's Elizabeth Lee Bridal. Jared and I started it in 2017.
And why'd you name it that?
So when I was born in China, 1985. China had a one-child policy. Also, China had a son preference culturally, and my parents really didn't want me because I was the second-born girl, and they could only have one child. So when Jared and I got married, we named all of our children during our honeymoon. And we thought if we have a daughter, we're going to name her Elizabeth Lee. And we want our daughter to know before she was born that she is desired and loved, valued and treasured.
Wow.
And so she was born 7 years later. So our Elizabeth Lee, she's a 2.5-year-old little girl. She's absolutely precious.
So how many years have you owned this business for?
We have owned it for 9 years.
9
since
years, wow.
2017.
And how has owning this allowed you to reach people who may never step foot inside of a church and share the love of Jesus with them?
I think the biggest commandment is to love God and love people. And that's the thing, heart behind us. We pray over this space when people walk in. We really want them to experience the presence of God. And no matter what their walking life is, that they feel loved and valued and treasured. And we want every single person who wear our dresses to feel absolutely beautiful. And do you have anything to add?
Everyone that comes in the store, people that we do business with, whether it's vendors or employees or customers, our interaction with them, we are representing the kingdom. And so it's just really about representing the love of God in every facet of what we do. And that entails praying over the space. That is our interactions with them on phone, even email, how we speak and present ourselves, is we're always aware of representing God's kingdom.
That is so beautiful. Shall we go inside?
Yeah.
All right, so when did you guys feel that call from God to actually go out into the marketplace and for marketplace ministry?
I think we were both called, but before Jared and I got together, I actually went to Colorado Springs at the YWAM base. They had a BAM school, which is short for Business as Missions. And I was at the crossroad. I was a missionary in China. I already started 2 businesses in China, but also I was thinking about maybe giving up my business ideas and to go into full-time ministry. And I feel I was at a crossroad. I have to choose one over another. And then the Lord just showed me what is possible through that BAM school, how you can use your business, but still as a ministry. You don't need to advertise it as a Christian business, but in a way how you treat people, it should be biblical principles and how God would want to do so.
Absolutely. And can you actually touch on the start of Elizabeth Lee and to where God's brought it today? And it sounds like just through knowing your story off camera, through a lot of obedience and a lot of faith, it sounds like.
So Jared and I do this thing called Vision Mondays. So when we first got married, we know we wanted to do business because at that time we both feel that's what God has called us to do. My background is actually in teaching and also in ministry, and Jared's background is in corporate finance. And when we got married, every Monday we would come together and pray. Before we had children, we get to actually have coffee and pray together, and it's so amazing. And so we started 3 businesses. None of them took off, and we're down to our last bit of savings and just waiting what kind of business could we do. This is our last chance and ditch to actually, starting a business. So we came into this space where you're looking at right now, and we were actually going to do a coffee shop. And during one of our Monday vision meetings, Jared and I were just praying together, and I saw a vision of a veil hanging over this space right here, and the veil was parted, and it looked like just felt the Lord told me to unveil His kingdom. And we don't know what that meant. And part of it just meant to be a bridal business. So we already started a bridal accessories line at the time. So it was very natural. We went into bridal dresses, and we have been stuck with it for about almost 10 years.
Did it just take off at the beginning? Because you've been doing this for 9 years. So was it a fast start, slow start? And where are you at today with the business?
Yeah, I think we are. I will say we were still a very small business, but we started with just Jared and I taking all the brides, and then we had our first part-time, and now we have, I want to say 12 employees right now. Not still a very small company, but we are so grateful for the growth we have had throughout the years.
For Jared, actually, what has this allowed, like operating this business? How has it allowed you guys to even maybe fund some things for the kingdom, or be able to be the hands and feet of Jesus even beyond the four walls of Elizabeth Lee here in Dallas?
We got this business, we started as a store, this store that you're in here, and then it did expand and grow, and then also we felt called and led, and so we did. So now we have a national brand. So we are in 20 something states, about 40 stores. That's given us the opportunity to get out quite a bit, right? So we are always traveling, and we also have a global supply chain which takes us to other countries. So as you can imagine, there's just tremendous opportunity for bridges, as we like to call it, business bridges that allow us to go to different places to really share His kingdom. And it's brought tremendous opportunity, just divine appointments, really connected and not connected to our business, but it's given us a platform. It's given us the ability to be involved with really cool projects around the world, with anti-trafficking objectives and different ministries, different films, different productions, different arts.
Yeah, you're working on a movie right now, you told me.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I'm involved in a movie that we're making, which is called Coyote, and it's about trafficking across the southern border in the U.S. Which is near and dear to our heart, because our heart is always to help those who are marginalized, and just children and anyone who is marginalized and susceptible to being exploited wherever they are in the world. And so for the U.S. market, a film that really highlights the realities. And here in Texas, we have a huge amount of border wall, and this corridor of 35 is one of the most trafficked routes in the world.
Wow.
Because of just everything that comes through our border. There's a lot of organized crime and both sides, right? And so it's really a global operation. And so the movie really highlights that, and it'll be a very mainstream, pretty intense movie.
Yeah, and how beautiful is that for the both of you, that just obeying the call of going out into the marketplace. And that's where God was like, "That now I'm going to have your ministry here out in the marketplace with Elizabeth Lee." And then that's opening up so many doors to even bring light into darkness and some of the darkest places of the world. And you guys are able to be doing that now. And that's just so beautiful. It's encouraging for me, and I bet it's encouraging for a lot of people watching right now. All right, if you were to break it down practically for me, how does your business bring heaven to earth from a day-to-day perspective?
We don't always do it perfectly, but we always try our best. Recently, I've been kind of on this kick talking with my staff about grace. Grace for each other when there's stressful times, grace for yourselves when you make mistakes, and also grace for our customers when sometimes could be challenging, and how we can serve and honor them instead of saying anything negative. So I think the grace part is kind of what we're leaning in right now. Do you have anything to add?
No, that's great.
Grace. We need a lot of it.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that come up with running a business that's not necessarily like people walk in and it's like, oh, this is a church building. It's a business. They're coming into a business. What are the challenges of living out your faith on a day-to-day level, or even long-term?
Well, I think this is a really key conversation for the Outsiders group, or ministry and business ministry, because, like yesterday I shared a lot of really cool highlight stories, but those are highlights, right? There's a lot of messes in between. So it's messy. There are mistakes sometimes. There are misunderstandings. You could be the best communicator, and there could still be misunderstandings. So I think the challenge and then the greatest opportunity for the miraculous and the breakthrough comes from the messy challenges, right? Messy people. And really, like Jesus talks about, the healthy don't need a hospital. The healthy don't need doctors, right? So it's the people that need, the needy ones, that sometimes on the outside it can seem like the most difficult, the most challenging, but that's really the greatest, ripest harvest, really, right? So it's the greatest opportunity for there to be a supernatural move. So what do you have to add to that?
I guess it comes down to our core value of the business. The first one is honor. We believe in honor people, even when they don't deserve it. And honor is different from respect. And that's something we really try to practice here. The second thing, we really try to be excellent at what we do. But of course, for 9 years in the beginning, we had a lot of learning curves, and still we're learning today. So we really want to aim for excellence, and I think that represents the Lord. And we want to give our best to the Lord. And the third thing is we really value empowerment. We want to encourage each other. Even when we make mistakes, how can we improve and help each other to become better? And I always say, we're a team. We're in this together. And the last one is creativity. And I think we're very creative beings. So what you're looking at here is our alterations and studio space. So we're a full service salon that we offer alterations. Also, we just debuted our first Made in America collection. It's called the Mia collection. So it's made in Texas, in our little studio in Bedford. I really want to empower young generations of creatives. We're a place they can express their creativity. So we have 5 people on the design team. It started with just Jared and I, and we slowly started inviting people in. We see their different eyes, things I would never design, but some of them have created some of the most beautiful pieces we've ever seen, I've never thought of. So we love that process as well.
What would your encouragement be to the younger generations who just feel that call on God, that whether they're creative, maybe they have a passion for business, but they feel like they're called out into the marketplace? What would your message be to them, or your encouragement?
I think just be obedient to the Lord. And if He gives you a vision, I think you'll only regret the things you did not do. So I think if you feel called to it, you don't have to use all your savings at the very moment you start the business. Be smart, but walk toward it. What God has for you is so much bigger and better than you could imagine. So I'm so grateful I get to do it with Jared side by side. And there's a little story. It happened in Colorado Springs when Jared and I were just friends, and he was teaching me how to drive. And he asked me out at the airport, and I was flying to Colorado Springs to attend the BAM school. And I just keep on thinking, I told him, I cannot give you an answer right now. I just need to pray about it. And I was 29, he was 30. We believe in date to marry, and also it was not a time for us just dating around. So I prayed about it, and I said, Lord, I pray that I would have a man in my life. And I felt God spoke that to me too, that I want somebody who really seeks first the kingdom of God, and who also has a heart for the poor, because I came from poverty. And I was looking for those 2 words. So I called Jared, and right after the Lord just confirming my heart, what I was looking for, I said, Jared, I would love to date you, but I would love to know what is the calling God has on your life. And he said, I believe I want to bring people into the kingdom of God, and I lift people out of spiritual and physical poverty. And I think that very moment I knew that this is the man God has for me.
It's like, okay, God, here we go.
And we're going to do this business thing together. We're going to be partners. And I'm so blessed. I have the best person to lead me, and also lead the company, our family, and we work in it together.
Fun little tidbit about serendipity. We're actually, or like divine little winks from God, we're actually flying there in a few hours. That'll be the first time we've actually been there together, which is really funny, just for an event that we're a part of. So.
Yes.
That is so good. And if people are looking to get their first wedding dress, where can they find you?
They can go to our website, elizabethleebridal.com, or go
Okay.
to our Instagram, Elizabeth Lee Bridal, and then the same name on our TikTok. You're going to see a lot of our styles all over there.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
And then you guys, so Dallas, your main store's in Dallas, but you're in a few across the country. Is that right?
Flagship location. So as designers, you have a flagship. So this is our flagship location here in DFW, and then from coast to coast, there's about 40 stores that carry us right now. So yeah, we on our website, Elizabeth Lee Bridal or Elizabeth Lee Couture, there's a store finder. You can look at our stores. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the Outsiders channel. I appreciate it. And hearing your guys' hearts today was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. It's amazing.
Thank you.